everyone, this is Stephanie. Welcome to another video. So today we're going to work on this brooch or pin, and it is so pretty and really easy to make, and I think you're just going to love it. I made several in birthstone colors, and I have one here. This black one is made from some of the beads from the Celestial Lantern Beading School Academy box. It has a little pearl cabochon in it. You have everything to make that except just a few bugle beads and of course the pin back and the filigree, which I will link below. The rest of these, I use these gorgeous birthstone color Chatons, which are from the Preciosa Pure Chaton box. It says cabochon. I think that's why I keep saying cabochon. But these are Chatons and they're all unfoiled. I'm going to show these to you in the materials clip. But you get 72 of them. I believe they're like $20 or something, and they're Preciosa, and they're stunning. So don't quote me on the price, look on the website, but they're so reasonable. I would grab them while you can. Also, if you are a Dollar Bead Bag subscriber, this is a match made in heaven because I used all fire polish and, you know, Chatons, and it's like the perfect match. So grab your fire polish beads and everything else, you know, the materials list is coming up, and we'll get started making this really pretty pin. Before we get the materials list going, I just wanted to show you the Preciosa Pure Chaton box. Now it says cabochons, but this is actually Preciosa Pure Chatons, and it's a special deal. This little box has so many Chatons in it. I'll just give you a quick look, and we're going to look at the colors too. So here they come. You get 4 of each color, and this is just jam-packed, filled with these gorgeous Preciosa Chatons, and these are pure Chatons, and I believe that's the reason they're called pure Chatons is maybe because they're not foiled, and you know how I love that. I just love finding a stone that's not foiled. So here's everything. I'm going to pull them out, and we're going to go through the colors real quick. Let's go through the colors and do it really fast. So red velvet, ruby, cyan, and I use the cyan one in this brooch. Now some of them the point is sticking up, but they're all like this. You know, this is the face of it, a beautiful cabochon. And we've got fuchsia, which I used in this one, rose, light peach, amethyst, emerald, chrysolite, indicolite or indicolite, I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce that, montana, aqua bohemica, which is a little bit lighter, sapphire, which I used in this one, citrine, topaz, crystal, and tanzanite. And you get all of those in one box, and it is an amazing deal. I would jump on it. All right, so let's start the tutorial. Get our materials list going. So you'll need either an 8mm Chaton or the 8mm pearl cabochon. You've got a 4mm fire polish. I've got a Delica, a 3mm bugle bead. We've got the Paisley Duos, 15-0 seed bead and 11-0 seed bead, and I have a filigree with the pin back, which I glued on myself, but I think you can, I'm going to look on their website, the Beading School's website, because they have, I think they have it with the pin back on. I've got a needle case with all different size needles. You'll start with a 10 here. I think that's all you'll need. And then I've got some 6-pound Fireline in crystal. All right, let's get started. So thread your needle with about 4.5 feet of thread, put on a stop bead, leave enough of a tail to sew in. So I picked up and dropped down to my stop bead a 4mm fire polish. Let me find my needle here. A 4mm fire polish and 3 11-0s. I did that 4 times. So just like that. Sew these into a circle by sewing through the first bead after my stop bead, which is this fire polish bead. So just like so, and then I'm just going to reinforce all the way around. So reinforced all the way around. I came past where my tail and stop bead are, and I'm going to just buy a few beads, and I'm going to be exiting the middle seed bead of a group of 3. Okay, let's keep going. So we're exiting that middle seed bead of that group of 3 11-0s. I'm going to pick up 5 15-0s, and I'm just going to hop over to the middle 11-0 of the next group of 3. Like so. So I'm going to sew through that middle bead. Then I'm going to make sure I push these like in front of the fire polish bead. Like so. I'm going to do that again. 5 15-0s. Exiting that middle 11-0, I'm just going to hop over to this one. push it over, just like that. So you can do that 2 more times. 5/15-ohs, exiting that middle 11-oh. I'm going to sew through the next one. So that's the original one we started with. Pop it over. That's what it looks like. So I'm exiting that middle 11-oh. I'm going to sew through the next 11-oh and the fire polish, the next fire polish bead. So I'm just setting myself up to put another round on. Let's add some more beads on. So I'm exiting the fire polish. I'm going to pick up an 11-oh, a delicate, and an 11-oh. Exiting the fire polish, I'm just going to hop over to the next fire polish. And I'm just going to push that up. So it's in between the fire polish. So we're building a little sort of nest for the stone or your cabochon. So 11-oh, delicate, 11-oh. Exiting this fire polish, hop over to the next one, sew through that next fire polish. And if they pop over, don't worry about it. You'll just give them a little pull at the end. So like that. So you can do that 2 more times. Okay, last 11-oh, delicate, 11-oh. Exiting this fire polish, I'm going to sew through the next one. So I have those 4 groups on right there in between the fire polish. So just like that. Now I'm just going to advance my needle through the next 11-oh, delicate, and 11-oh. So that was the original one we put on. So here we're making that little nest or pocket. Let's add some bugle beads. So I'm going to pick up my bugle bead. I'm exiting this 11-oh, so the 11-oh, delicate, 11-oh. Just going to skip over to that next group of 11-oh, delicate, 11-oh, and sew through those. And that's going to place my bugle bead right there. Let's do that again. Exiting right here. I'm just going to pick up my bugle bead and sew through that next group of 11-oh, delicate, 11-oh. That's what it looks like. You can do that 2 more times. Last bugle bead. So we're exiting that 11-oh, delicate, 11-oh. Going to sew through this one, this group, 11-oh, delicate, 11-oh, to complete the round. Pop that over. And then I'm going to advance right through the bugle bead, the next bugle bead. Don't pull too tight. This is what it looks like. Just a note from future me. So you're going to be putting your stone in next, and you want to put the stone in face down. So this is what it's going to look like. So this is the front of our bezel, but working here, what we're doing is working on the back. So when you put your stone in, you're going to put it in face down. You see the point sticking up? I don't think I said that. So I want to make sure that you put the stone in face down. I mean, you could put it in face up, but the way we're doing it, it's going to be face down. Okay. Stone or your cabin. So just lay it in there. It should lay, it's not going to stay. You're going to have to kind of hold it. This is what it looks like. Make sure you hold it nice and straight. I have to fuss with it just a little bit. Oh, there we go. Now I'm going to pick up 3 15-ohs. Exiting the bugle bead, and mine's tilting a little bit. There we go. So exiting the bugle bead, sew through the next, just the bugle bead. So just like that. Going to pick up 3 15-ohs. Exiting the bugle bead, I'm going to sew through the next bugle bead, like so. There we go. Then you can do that 2 more times. Last 3 15-ohs through the bugle bead. So that's that final bugle bead right there. Just going to get my needle in there. There you go. And then you want to advance your needle through the next 3 15-ohs. Exiting those 3 15-ohs, so you're going to pick up 2 15-ohs. Exiting these 3 here, I'm going to just hop over to the next 3 15-ohs. Just like so. Sew through those. So you're putting on those 2. And then you're going to pick up 2 15-ohs again. And you're exiting the 3 15-ohs. You're going to sew through the next 3 15-ohs. Like that. So you do that 2 more times, and then you can reinforce, and then we'll continue. Here Here we are. I've reinforced all the way around and I'm exiting that one group of the 3 15-0s there. I just want to get to the outside, so I'm just going to sew through this bugle bead. And then I'm going to sew through the 11-0 Delica 11-0. So just moving my thread. I can actually sew that front thread in. And then through the fire polish. So this is where you want to be exiting that fire polish bead. Okay, let's get some more done on this. We're almost there. I mean, this is the easy part now. All right, so I'm exiting a fire polish. I'm going to turn it on to the front because this is the front of my bezel. I know, I mean, this looks pretty too. I mean, I really love this side, but this is what I'm going for. So we're going to do this, but maybe in the future we'll play with something like this, or you can play with this side yourself. Okay, so I'm exiting the fire polish. I'm going to pick up an 11-0 Paisley Duo. Notice the way I put it on. 11-0 Paisley Duo and an 11-0. That's our next sequence. I'm exiting this fire polish. I'm going to sew through the next fire polish. When I put it on, see, that's what it's going to look like. Then I'm going to pick up an 11-0, my Paisley Duo, an 11-0 Paisley Duo, and an 11-0. So again, there's my sequence. Notice how I put those Paisley Duos on. Exiting this fire polish, I'm going to sew through the next fire polish. So like that. You can do that 2 more times. Last 11-0 Paisley, 11-0 Paisley, and 11-0. It's floppy, but that's okay. But we'll tighten it up in a little bit. But right now it's a little annoying. So I'm exiting this fire polish. I'm going to sew through the next fire polish. Like that. Then when I lay it down, this is what it looks like. So then you just want to advance your needle through the, let's see, should we pop through these 3? So 11-0, these 3 11-0s. See if I can get a shortcut over here. Like so. Through the next fire polish. And then through this 11-0 Paisley Duo. 11-0 and Paisley Duo. So I just want to complete the round a little bit. This is what it looks like. So if you're exiting the bottom hole of the Paisley Duo, we're just going to sew through the top hole. Like that. So when I lay it down, this is what it looks like so far. Here we are, we're exiting the top hole of a Paisley Duo. And it's this little group right here, the Paisley Duo 11-0 Paisley Duo. I'm going to pick 3 11-0s. I'm going to sew through the top hole of the next Paisley Duo, like that. Then I'm going to pick up an 11-0, a fire polish, and an 11-0. I'm going to sew through the top hole of the next Paisley Duo. Then 3 11-0s. So we're just going to repeat this. 3 11-0s from here to here. Like so. And then 11-0 fire polish 11-0. The next one. So you're just alternating and do that all the way around. Last group, so 11-0 fire polish 11-0. I'm going to sew through this Paisley Duo right here. That's what it looks like so far. Up an 11-0, and I'm mixing the Paisley Duo. I'm just going to hop over to the next Paisley Duo. So I'm just popping an 11-0 on the bottom there, and you can actually like pop that middle one up a little bit. So just like that. So you're exiting, you came through the Paisley Duo. I'm going to sew through the next 11-0 and the fire polish. So you want to be exiting the fire polish bead. I'm going to pick up 3 11-0s, exiting the fire polish. I'm going to sew through this fire polish, like so. And then I'm going to pick up 3 11-0s, and I'm going to sew back through. Hold on, let me get another one. There we go. I'm going to sew back through this fire polish. So just like that. And then I'm going to advance through the next 11-0 and paisley duo. And repeat what I did. I'm going to take an 11-0, exiting the paisley duo. I'm going to sew through the next paisley duo, and you can go right on through the 11-0 and then the fire polish, because that's where you want to end up eventually. Give that a little pull so that pops up a little bit. 3 11-0s, exiting here, through this fire polish, and then 3 11-0s, back through this one, the 11-0 and the paisley duo. Give that a pull, and now it's starting to tighten up. So see, that's what it's looking like so far. So you're just going to repeat that sequence all the way around. My last sequence of the 3 11-0s coming through the fire polish, 3 11-0s, and then the other side of the fire polish, just like that. And then I'm going to advance my needle through the next 11-0, the paisley duo, the next 11-0, paisley duo, and the next 11-0. So you want to exit the 11-0 before the fire polish. So just like that. And it's going to start to kind of curve a bit. So these petals are going to kind of go down a little bit, and the back is going to curve in slightly. So this is what it looks like so far. Just a little bit more. So you're exiting the 11-0 before the fire polish. I'm going to pick up 4 11-0s, and I'm going to sew through the 11-0 after that fire polish and the paisley duo. So I'm going to place those on like so. And then I'm going to sew through the 11-0, the paisley duo, and the next 11-0 before the next fire polish, like that. I'm going to pick up 4 11-0s, exiting the 11-0 before the fire polish. I'm going to sew through the 11-0 after the fire polish. The paisley duo, you got it. I'm going to continue on through the beads until I'm exiting the 11-0 before the next fire polish. Okay, this is what it looks like so far. Now, you know, if it gets kind of wonky, just kind of press it into shape. We've got a little bit more to do. So you can do that until you have 4 11-0s around each of your fire polish. Okay, last 4 11-0s, exiting the 11-0 before the fire polish. I'm going to sew through the next 11-0, and I'm going to sew through just the paisley duo right there. So you're exiting the paisley duo. Now I'm going to sew through the next 11-0, not down here, but this one. I'm just tightening everything up now. I'm going to skip the middle one, and I'm going to sew through that next 11-0, and then the paisley duo and the next 11-0. I know we're getting picky, but you know, why not? Okay, I'm just pop that, and that's just going to sort of pop that into place. I'm exiting the 11-0 after the paisley duo. I'm going to sew through the next 2 11-0s of that group of 4 we put on. Okay, and at this point you can kind of put it into the shape you like. I'm kind of curving mine inward a little bit. Okay, and now I'm going to pick up a 15-0, and I'm going to sew through. I'm exiting that second 11-0 of the 4 we put on. I'm going to sew through the last 2. So I'm just popping a 15-0 in the middle, and all that's going to do is give it a teeny bit of a point. I'm not even sure you can see it, but I'm doing it anyway. Then I'm going to sew through the next 11-0 paisley duo, the 11-0 after the paisley duo. I'm going to skip the middle one and sew through this, the 11-0 on the end, and then the paisley duo and the next 11-0, like that. And then I'm going to sew through the next 2 11-0s of the 4 that I put on around the fire polish. And then I'm going to pick up a 15-0, and I'm going to sew through the next 2 of that group of 4 to pop that in there, and then through the 11-0 and the paisley duo. I'm just going to repeat that all the way around, and it's going to start, like I said, it's going to start to solidify, and you know, I think that just made a little bit of a difference. So, I mean, I think it's probably optional, but I would put it in. Put that 15-0 in there. All right, so do that all the way around. Put on all my, the little 15-0s in between, and I kind of solidified those 4 11-0s. Now, I'm just going to press it into the shape I want, because before you put the back on, you want to press it. So I kind of curve mine outward like that. You can flatten it out. You can do whatever you like, but just make sure it's nice and, you know, it's nice and even. You want to sew that thread in before you do all that, and then make sure, you know, your piece is just the way you want it. And then all you're going to do at this point is you're going to place your filigree on wherever you want it. So if you place it, so you can place it so the inside bezels point up like a diamond, or you can place it this way so that these are on the sides and this is more of a square. So really, however you want to put the back on. So I'm just going to let you do that. All I did with this is I just put some glue, and I used, let's see if I can find my glue. Don't go away. I used this glue. Let me pull out a little bit. So it's super glue, and it's a gel, so it's very easy to control it. So all I did was I actually just, you know, I kind of figured out where I wanted it, and then I put the glue on the paisley duos actually, and then I just, you know, and then I just put it on, and I just put a, you know, just a little bigger, like a little blob on each one, and then I put this on like so, and then I just let it dry. It's super glue, so it dries, you know, I would give it a while to dry, you know, nice and securely. So go play with that, get that done, and come back and we'll finish up. Here are our little beauties, and here's the one we did today. I think it came out so pretty. It's still drying, but I absolutely love it. I think they all came out so cute, so easy. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.